All right, let's get into it. Today, we're going to unpack a huge business dilemma, one that I think pretty much every professional runs into. Are we just staying busy, or are we actually making an impact? And we're going to do it by following the story of a chief marketing officer at a major turning point in her career. So we're starting right in the thick of it. This is a thought from our main character, Jessica, the CMO at Midwest Brewing Company. She's just walked out of a really tough meeting, and she is questioning, well, everything. This one moment of doubt, right here, is what kicks off a massive change in how her entire company has to think about what success really looks like.
So, let's paint the picture. For about 2.5 years, Jessica has been the marketing guru at MBC, which is this really cool, fast-growing craft brewery. And honestly, by all the usual standards, she and her team have just been knocking it out of the park.
And this is really where you see that activity mindset in full swing. I mean, just look at this list. They're doing everything. Traditional ads, direct mail, live music in the tap room, brewery tours, this huge community festival. The list just goes on and on. It is an absolutely incredible amount of activity, and for a long time, it really seemed like it was working. For a while, this was the definition of success at the company. The feedback they were getting was amazing, people were loving the events, and Jessica felt totally confident that her strategy was the right one. But, as you can probably guess, that feeling of certainty, it was all about to change. Okay, so here's the turning point. A new CEO, a guy named Andrew, comes on board. Jessica gives this big presentation, proudly walking him through that long list of all her team's marketing accomplishments. But Andrew, well, he doesn't see what she sees, and he asks a question that just changes the whole game. And there it is. That's the heart of it. Andrew isn't questioning how hard they're working. He's questioning the result of all that work. He's basically saying, okay, that's great, but what did we get from it? He's looking at everything through a totally different lens. And this slide just lays out the conflict perfectly. On one side, you have Jessica's focus. How many campaigns did we launch? How many events did we host? She's pointing to all the positive customer feedback. But Andrew, he's looking at a completely different column. He wants to know the value, the actual impact on the business, the return on investment, or ROI. Where she sees accomplishments, he sees a list of expenses without any proven results tied to them. Now, you might be thinking this is just a difference in management style. But for Andrew, this isn't some academic exercise. He immediately connects his concern about value to some very real and very urgent business pressures that the company is facing. It all starts with this number right here, 20%. That's how much of the company's total revenue is being spent by the marketing department. I mean, that is a huge chunk of money. To a CEO, that's not just a line on a spreadsheet, it's a massive investment. And it's his job to make sure every single one of those dollars is working as hard as it possibly can to grow the company. And this is exactly why it's so urgent. The whole craft beer market is getting a lot tougher. The boom is slowing down, and look at this. Competitors are actually failing. 97 of them closed in the last year. So all of a sudden, that 20% budget isn't just about creating buzz, it's about survival. They cannot afford to waste it. And this is the metric Andrew is demanding, ROI, return on investment. It really boils down to a simple but powerful question. For every single dollar we put into marketing, how many dollars in profit are coming back out? He needs a clear, data-driven way to connect the dots between spending and earning, to prove that the marketing budget is what's keeping MBC off that list of 97 closures. So, Andrew doesn't fire her. No, instead, he gives her a challenge, a career-defining one. He says, you've got 2 weeks. Go figure out how to connect all of your team's activities to the company's bottom line. And you can just imagine what's going through Jessica's head, right? She's completely reeling. She feels attacked. She's thinking, why is he even questioning the value of marketing? Isn't it obvious? She's wondering if it's even possible to put a hard number on things like brand building or community goodwill. She is at a total crossroads, and her entire approach to her job is being challenged. So Jessica's story really leaves us with this fundamental question that we should all be asking ourselves, no matter what our job is. Are we focused on activity, or are we focused on impact? It forces us to admit that just being busy isn't the same as being effective. It's about that shift from measuring our inputs, like how many things we did, to measuring our outcomes, like the actual value we created. So the question for all of us is, what truly matters, and how can we prove it?